Hi everyone, I'm Barney, I'm a videographer, and on behalf of Rimscarnated I recently spent a day up north with Rich and his Ferrari 328 GTS. We go really in depth and film a small interview / documentary type thing on the car, the build process and how it's got to where it is today. But Rich does go very in depth into the car and all the little details that he's done to make it as special as it is now. And we know since not everyone is restoring a classic Ferrari in their garage, maybe some of the stuff isn't particularly what you're interested in. So don't worry, throughout the video I've interspersed it with some really nice cinematics of the gorgeous thing that he has managed to craft over the last 2 years. So really hope you enjoy the video, looking forward to hearing your feedback. Do you like the car? Do you hate the car? Do you like what he's done with it? The little details? There's some bits and pieces in there that are quite polarizing, so really looking forward to seeing your input on it, and I hope you enjoy the video. Thanks.
I'm Rich Colville, this is my Ferrari 328. So I've been looking around for a project to do. I wanted something other than Porsche, Ferrari ideally, and then I wanted a project where I can build something up and make it pretty. So this came about 2 years, but I've been looking for about 3 years. So this came up 2 years ago now, around Christmas time, so obviously not a good time for it to pop up. Went to see it, tried haggling with him, and then haggling didn't really work because there were that many people fighting for it. People in Italy, London, everywhere trying to get this car. I think it went up 2 grand. So just had to go for it. The guy said it was, I think, what did he say? It's about 80–90% there. I don't know if it was, but yeah, it's still ongoing a little bit. There's still a few bits I need to buy. I suppose these are my dream wheels, especially for this car. These are sort of era specific to the 80s. And I think, you know, they just suit this car perfectly. These are what I always had in mind for it, but I didn't think I'd be able to stretch to them, but, you know, eventually got them. So Ferrari, F40 race wheels, magnesium, centre lock. You know, the dream wheel really, because it's got the centre lock, that have all the studs and stuff. It's just a beautiful sort of pattern, but an absolute massive pain in the arse. Obviously the car's not centre lock, it's not supposed to be centre lock, so there's a massive mess about in between, just try to get these wheels to fit. They're obviously not for this car, everything's wrong about them, they don't want to be on this car, there's only me that wants them on, so I've had to go through engineering problems, processes, create these hubs, have those engineered and adapted and just finessed. I've worked with Rimscarnated, brilliant guys, they've helped me out loads down the way. Just getting new lips, new barrels. It's like Trigger's broom. There's only one thing original left on these wheels, and that's the centre. Everything else has changed, and there's only a bit of the centre left that's original. Everything else has been engineered off it. But yeah, all new rims and barrels. But because the centre locks, I can't really have too much flexibility really on how it's stanced and how it looks. I can only move them inwards by engineering the back off them. I can't, you know, like normal wheels, you can put spacers on, push them out, have a bit of a play, get them right, stretch your tyres. With these, it is what it is. If they fit, they fit. If they don't, they can go in a little bit, but only so far, and then, you know, engineer your tyres to fit with stretch. At the backs, I wanted to get them as wide as I physically could because I didn't have much room for flexibility for getting it wide lip-wise. So all I could do is have that lip and then go as wide as I can until it hits the struts. And that's where Rimscarnated came in. They created these beautiful barrels for me, brushed, and I think it equals 11.5 inch wide at the back now. So when you look at the back of the car, it's a dinky car, but it's got these massive, big, wide wheels, which I really like. And then spent a bit of time trying to find sort of era-specific tread patterns, getting those looking good, because you know, you spend all this time doing beautiful wheels, and then people put these shite tyres on. It just kills it for me. The tyres have to be just right, the tread pattern, everything, sidewalls. So we're getting there on it. I've had them engineered again, had some more taken off the backs, and we've got them tucked in nicely, so they're fitting good. Quite happy with that. Got a bit of overhang. I didn't want to poke in too much. It's a bit, I think that time might have gone now. So I think tucked is the way forward. Engine and gearbox is fully original, but not original, as in it's just been rebuilt. So as soon as I got the car, the engine was in a crate, took it somewhere, second-hand obviously, took it to Hepworth International. They deal with Formula 1 cars and stuff, so they stripped it right down till it was this big, rebuilt it back up, and yeah, you just needed some trust in the engine and not knowing how it was, because it was a box. Just rebuilt the thing, so pretty much stock. But yeah, quite impressed with it really. Supposedly it's got 270 brake horsepower, which I didn't expect, but it's plenty, yeah, in something like this that's space frame. But yeah, it's pretty quick, it's all right. Put a sports exhaust on it, Larini stainless steel one, just because it sounded like a Mondeo or something before. And I don't think that's right, is it, when it looks like this? Suspension wise, when I got the car, it was like a rolling shell. Well, there was no suspension in it. It had like metal poles that they drilled holes in and bolted to the car. So that's what we were actually rolling on, metal tubes. So I had a look, see how much suspension is. Coilovers were something like 6 grand. So I went, fuck it, might as well just go for air on this thing, and then you've got full flexibility on stance and ride height, and I can get in and out of the garage and go over speed bumps. So I thought, this is going to be all right, and the price is similar, I suppose. But yeah, went for Accurair, supposedly the best. Had a few issues down the road, but I don't think that were anything to do with the brand or the setup. I'm happy with it now. It's wicked. Drop it to the ground. It's lost a bit of air at some point and burnt a blister through the wing. But that's just, you know, teething problems, isn't it, when you build a car from scratch. A few people ask, how does it drive? And it drives beauty. But like I say, I've not driven another one. So as far as I can tell, mate, it's good, but I'm not driving it ridiculous, so I'm not really able to tell you how well it handles, because it's still pretty fresh, this thing. I'm still building up trust with it, you know, taking it on long journeys, and each journey's getting a bit longer and a bit longer, and just seeing if it sets on fire, explodes, dissolves, anything at the moment. She's doing all right. A rolling shell, so people think you've got balls doing all this stuff, but there was no interior in it, so you can do whatever you want to do. And if you look back at how Ferrari did it, things have changed, things were lazy, things didn't really suit the shape of the car, I didn't think. So the seats, they're Corbo, carbon Kevlar, retrimmed them in that ridge sort of format just to replicate all this sort of stuff. But then, you know, looking back, would I do it like that now? Probably not. I'd probably do something a bit more outlandish, I think. I do like the carbon Kevlar just because it's so like in keeping with that era rather than going full carbon. Remember the Ferrari F40 coming out and that was covered in carbon Kevlar and composite stuff, and I really liked it. I like how it's yellow and it's black. It's got that sort of goldy look to it, which goes well with the black. So I thought I'll put carbon Kevlar in the front. When you look through these grills, you can see the inner wheel tray, which before were just black and textured. So another opportunity to create something to look at when you look through these grills. Side air intakes, carbon Kevlar, and then the air intake on the engine, another opportunity. So you look through all these grills and you get to see little hints of it. So I've not gone turbo or overboard on it. So I liked that. And then I thought, what else can I do that's gonna ruffle some feathers? You know, piss people off like the Ferrari enthusiasts. Thought Gucci seat belts. That might piss them off, but don't seem to be pissing anyone off. They seem to be liking this stuff, which is a shame. I think I got that idea because I was doing some research. The original books for a Mondial were designed by Gucci. So I went, oh, right, there's a bit of a tie in there. So that's my theory behind the seat belts. A 328 is probably not my, chosen model, but this popped up. It's still like a childhood poster car, innit? Testarossa or anything. I just wanted a project that was a bit run down and, you could potentially make some money out of it, but then I enjoy building cars rather than the finished things. So now it's finished, you just polish it, don't you? And, for me, it's like being a kid again, with an Airfix kit, and you build the car or the aeroplane and then you finish with it and you put it on a shelf. I like building them. You take it to shows and everyone goes, yeah, it's all right. But you don't actually know the state it was in. The front was all crunched. This were all smashed to bits, all fiberglass. The back end were just crunched. Someone had cut some slits into the rear wings to make it like a 288 GTO, but man-made slits, not very good. So they needed welding up. You open the boot, you could just see the ground. So needed to tear all the back end off it, tear the subframe off it, weld a new subframe on, all new back end went on. I rescued that rear corner, which was the worst corner. I don't know how we did it, but it was a bit of a challenge, so I fancied tackling that. Turned out beauty, so it's all original. But yeah, people turn up to shows and go, yeah, it's quite nice. So I feel like doing one of those geeky things, where you've got a fucking Rolodex out or whatever they're called, and you've got all the pictures of before and afters, and go, this is what it used to be like. Because they think, oh, I've just polished it and put some wheels on it and suspension, but it's had 2 years just fucking building this thing, making sparks and dust. It is nice, and it's interesting when people do it all themselves. This were all done in my own garage, so I suppose, you get quite a few people thinking, what's he done, he's ruined that Ferrari. But you go, mate, you should have seen it before it was scrap. It was just because it's Ferrari that it wasn't scrap. Any other car, it'd have been binned. Yeah, because it's got a little yellow badge on it. It's worth thousands, but it's just as shit as any other car. But yeah, because it's got that yellow badge, it deserves restoring because it's a work of art. It should be on a wall. You can just put it in your garage, put a sofa next to it, open a can of beer and just look at it. Yeah, in here would be good. A can of beer would be good as well. Future plans for it. I've got some ideas on some more wheels, so I'll speak to Isaac on that one. I've got some pretty cool wheels which I've always wanted on a car, I've never done it, so I'm gonna have to sell another set of wheels to get these, but this should be pretty cool. I might change the seats at some point, but no, I know the plans at the minute, just take it to some shows and put some miles on it. I want to put some stone chips on it. Yeah, I like that. It's when you know, you see a classic like this and it's got loads of miles on it, you go, that's how it should be. You put some miles on it, you've enjoyed it. That's the idea.